Now, because these older computers were built with very simple, easy to service electronics, they will undoubtedly last for forever. I mean, the thing is, I could probably build this entire board. I could replace almost every component on it because those parts are readily available. The only exception being some of the ROM chips, but most of the passive components and even some of the IC chips, those are all components that can be easily sourced and replaced if the need were to ever arise. The thing is, this computer is now 31 years old, and I don't see any signs of impending doom in the near future, or in the future period. We had two defects, one of them being what did I say it was? One of the defects being the VGA port, or I'm sorry, the CGA port was not functioning correctly. It had a bad connection. The other defect is something that we're going to be looking at right now, and that is the floppy drive write protect switch. I'm going to take a look at that and see what the hell happened to it. I may have to source out another floppy drive, which is, I should be able to do that without buying a parts machine. And let's just take a look and see what's going on with this thing. I've pretty much eliminated the possibility that it's the discs themselves. Be that a formatting problem or what have you. But let's take a look at our floppy drive and see what's gotten into it. Now, Tandy used their own floppy drives. They're definitely custom made. They are bus powered, and they have a special let's unplug our ribbon cable here. You'll notice that again, there's no power cable, but the drive actually has a power connector on it, but not every drive can be run off the bus. And let's take a look. I'm not sure whether this one has an optical or a mechanical sensor for the disk write protect switch detection mode. I'm just going to pry this guy apart here. It's held together, it's just clipped together. Oh, there we go. Alright. Well, it's definitely dirty. Definitely dirty. Now, where is that? Here's the switch. I see it. Okay. So, I see where it goes to as well. Alright. Let's take a look here. I'll get the light on the camera going. Now, if you look inside, you can see there's a switch. Little push button right here. Now, when that switch is pushed down, it's supposed to tell the computer, or tell the floppy drive, that, hey, the disk is write protected. So, we're an easy way to... what I'm going to do first is we're going to clean this up with some canned air. Get the dust out of there. I should mention that when this computer was in my parents' home, up until mid-90s or so, they actually smoked in the house. So it's going to be some a good quality drive, I gotta say. I mean, this is pretty well made. Yeah, there's all kinds of crap built up in there. We're going to give the heads a good cleaning too while we're inside. Not going to be a slouch there. A little bit of corrosion here from storage. That's just a fact of life. Now, it is possible that one of the components that could have aged out of functionality. Let's put a disk in. Let's just confirm that that button is being depressed. It definitely is. Okay. And I want to confirm the location on the PCB. So I am testing the right area here. Okay, so it's down on the other side. Okay, I see there's two pins here that it links up to. All right, let's get a multimeter and see what's going on. All right. I still have my multimeter that my dad bought me when I was 10 years old. It was a Radio Shack compact multimeter. It was a great little thing. Wish I had it with me. I think it's in one of my tool bags somewhere, but I still have it, and it still works. Wait, is it here? I think it's in here somewhere. Well, anyway, the batteries are dead in it, so there's no point. Okay, let's confirm. All right. So with the disk out of the drive, the switch is open. With the disk in the drive, with the write protect door closed, it should close. I'm kind of hoping it doesn't. Okay. Yeah. All right. So it looks to me like that little write protect switch has definitely failed. And the only way we're going to save it I have right here an Apple floppy drive, which is also a Sony product. It does not use the same switch. It's a very different one. But we can use this one as a reference. Is that switch normally open or is it normally closed? At least on this one. Here we go. Okay. It is open right now. I'm going to put a disk in. And we're going to test it again. So it's normally open. It closes when the disk is inserted. This is my only spare auto-eject drive. I took the faceplate off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to dismantle the switch from the front of the drive. Alright, let's plug in the iron. Notice I'm using mostly Radio Shack stuff. Again, you don't know what you've lost until it's gone. We always love to complain about Radio Shack, but now that it's gone, it's just, you know, you lose that local hobby shop, you know, that little place where you can go. They've got the solder that you use, they've got the tools that you need, and maybe the guy behind the counter or gal behind the counter actually knows a thing or two about electronics and wants to ask you about your project and, you know, maybe give you some insight and say, hey, I tried this and it didn't work, I had the same problem, or we had a customer come in the other day with a similar situation, you might want to try this component, you know. But those days largely died off with Radio Shack. You know, by the mid-90s, it was pretty much just another Brookstone, you know, just a store that sold expensive toys and really wasn't so much into the hobbyist aspect of it. Okay, so let's see if we got enough heat to do the job. We'll pull that switch off, we'll take it apart, and we'll try to resave it. We'll try to get it working again. I should probably use a little bit of flux on here, but there we go. It's desoldering just fine. Okay. So it should be enough to get the switch off. Yep, just wants to come right off. Alright. So here's our little switch. It is made by Omron, I think. It's an Omron D2ZP. I wonder if I can find one of those. Well, I did a quick internet search and I found a Japanese site that actually has this switch. But I don't think that's going to be very easy to order from. So let's take apart the one we got. And I should be able to do that pretty easily. Okay. I'm using the tool here. Let's just pick it apart and see what ails it. Okay. So from the looks of it, it does make use of both. There are three contacts, and yeah, they're really dirty in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flush it out with a little bit of that contact cleaner. I'm gonna see if I can get a good look at it on camera here. See if it'll focus. Let me see if I put my hand up here, right? There we go. Focus on my hand, buddy. Focus. Alright, let's zoom in. No, it's not going to do it. But we're going to clean up the contacts and see if we can't make it work again. Okay, I'm going to go back to my Deoxit D100. I've had so much luck with this stuff in the past. We'll flush out those contacts. They're very, very small and delicate. Let it do its thing. I'm going to take me a medical grade swab and we're going to clean those contacts yet again. Get all that smudgy, sludgy stuff out of there. See, really what happens here is, you know, these contacts, they oxidize. You know? But the components are big enough to where we can actually save them without much difficulty. Alright. So let's take a look at this switch and see what it's designed to do. So when the contacts are in the up position, it's going to short out pins. I'm going to call this pin 1, 2, and 3. Pin 1, 2, and 3. In the up position, it's going to short out pins 1 and 2 and 3. That's going to be this guy and this guy, based on the alignment here. In the downward position, it's going to short out pins 1 and 3. Yeah, that's how that works. So let's put it back together. Oops. Put it back in there like so. And we'll just stick that in there. Okay. So we'll get our multimeter and we'll see what we got. Where's my mode bar? Okay. So I believe in the upward position, what did I say? Pins 2 and 3. Let's give it a try. They should tone out. Alright, here we go. Okay. And in the closed position, it should be just 1 and 2. Okay. I think we took care of it. Let's put it back in. solder this back together. The soldering tip and plug the iron. Let's make sure we didn't create a short. There's not a lot of clearance either way, but I think we're good. Because I notice there's a pad here. I don't want to get it in that pad. Okay. Okay. Remember, we started with the process of removing the board, so I'm going to have to plug in all my stuff. All over again. No matter what I do, I always have a lighting problem. Why is that? Why is that, guys? But I feel vindicated. I was correct in believing that there was definitely a hardware problem here, and that, you know, given the fact that the machine had been sitting for so many years, that the problem was just a bad switch. See, that's how we used to fix computers. You know, none of that software update crap, you know, usually it was a hardware problem. Anyway, again, while it's all apart, why don't we go ahead and clean our heads with a little bit of alcohol. The way I do that is I use 90% or 91%, whatever I can get. And I'm going to use one of these medical grade swabs. You can buy these online. They're easy to get. They're nice because they're not all, you know, the cotton is woven or wound on pretty tightly, so there's not a lot of dust and lint. And we're just going to go ahead and clean these heads. This is spring loaded. Just pop it up, take your swab, and gently rub it on both upper and lower heads. I don't see any film, so that's good. Be very gentle because the upper head is spring loaded. It's mounted on a series of tight or copper springs. Okay, and that should pretty much take care of our problem. Put the cover back on. I'm going to clean this. Get that out in frame. I'm going to clean that before I put it back together, and then we'll test it out. Okay, we still need to confirm functionality with a floppy disk, so let's pop the drive face back on and put a disk in there. There. I cleaned the drive inside out as well. I mean, it was kind of nasty in there, so did a little bit of swabbing inside the drive. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a disk in here. This is just a 1.44, and we'll grab our multimeter, and we will select the mode, and find our switch. So right now, no disk in there at all. Pins 2 and 3 are shorted. With a write protected disk, pins 1 and 3. Okay. With write protect off. Okay. Put it in. Woo! Now, just to confirm whether or not we created a problem or solved one, we need to do two things. We want to make sure, double check, that we did not mess up the alignment of the drive. We also want to make sure we fix the root problem. Here we go. It might help to plug in the power. Okay. And the video. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do something a little. We're not going to run DeskMate. We're going to take this DOS 211 diskette, pop that in the drive. I'm going to prepare me a clean 720K diskette. I'm going to type in format a colon. It's going to ask me to insert a new disk. So, it read the DOS disk. That's a good thing. Now it's going to format a brand new 720K diskette. And it is formatting. But then we're going to get a little bit wild. We're going to put that disk into another machine and see if it's readable. Now, I've never tried this before, but I'm going to put a DOS 211 formatted diskette, 720K, into a Windows 10 machine. And I'm going to see if it reads it. And then I'm going to write something to it. And then we're going to see if the Tandy can read it. Holy crap! This is going to be cool. You know, it's almost surreal that I'm working on a machine here that, let's be honest, it has no computing. It has as much computing power as a data link calendar watch from the 90s, if that. And I just got this message from my girlfriend who is upstairs watching television on, and she just got herself a new iPhone and she's all excited about it and everything. And this is what she sends me. Watch this.
Hi, honey. How are you doing? Oh, excuse me. What are you doing downstairs? Working on another video? Hi, honey.
So,
how you doing?
I share that because it just goes to show how far technology has come. I mean, and this is, anyway, the disk format was successful. Let's go ahead and I'm going to just report back and see. We're going to put this into the Windows 10 computer and see what happens. Will it read it and will it write to it? And then will the Tandy read it back? These are all things that matter. Okay, so I'm going to open up drive A. This PC, drive A. It does read to it, or from it. So let's find something that we can put on there from my DOS archive folder. And let's see, 10th frame bowling, sent to drive A. Let's see. Now, 10th frame bowling was a game that we had back in the day. It was it's actually a very addictive DOS-based bowling game. Very small, only takes up 136 kilobytes. And the version that we had actually had a sound file on it that took advantage of the 3-voice Tandy sound chip. However, the one that I found on the internet, which is the same game, it is missing that file. So normally on the Tandy version, when you start the game, it plays this really cool, like, digital music file that won't play in any other device. I've run the game in other machines and it won't play that device. It won't play that song unless it's on a Tandy. So let's go ahead and oops, do a DIR here. There it is. So this is a diskette that was formatted on a 31-year-old DOS 211 machine. I opened it up on a Windows 10 machine that's fairly new, wrote the files to it, and now they're back on the Tandy. How cool is that? Anyway, so there it is. Open bowling. I want one player. Put my name in there. Turn the volume down. one game. There's sound effects. Now with this game, you use the arrow key, I believe, to move this pointer. Or was it some other key? Let's try to figure this. Oh, use the number keys. Okay, because remember this is XT technology here. Hold the space bar down. And I knock some pins down. There is a certain level of skill to this game, but what the heck, right? Let's see. You have to, it's dependent on the alignment of this carrick, and however long you hold the space bar down. So, anyway. Well, folks, we have fixed all of the Tandy's woes, the write protect problem, the video problem, all repaired. And it didn't cost me a dime. So, childhood is saved. Alright. Onward and upward. Now, the next time we revisit this machine, I'm going to, hopefully, I'll be able to assemble that expansion card, which will give it more memory, a little more functionality. So, thank you for watching, and thank you for your support.